dedicating 10, 15 minutes on Sunday to look at Georgia Tech.
Right.
This week, when you started yesterday, did it seem like the players picked it up pretty quickly?
Oh, yeah. The things that we had repped in August in fall camp, those were recalls. So when we got out here on Sunday, it was just running through, just no different than we've seen 1,000 powers.
Right.
We run triple option. They've seen it before. So, and then you start giving them more and more calls and more nuggets. So I think that gets them going. But I think for them, it eases their mind like, oh, crap, this ain't the first time we saw it.
Right.
So I think it gives the players a certain level of comfort if they know how to go out and execute initially when the game, when the week starts, and then you add to their plate each and every day.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem.
Coach, can you go over again what you brought particularly from Air Force?
I think while I was at Air Force, played against Coach Johnson when he was at Navy several times. And then even when he went to Georgia Tech, I then played against him again in a bowl game down in Shreveport. So my background in Air Force for 10 years, being in the triple option, repping against triple option every day, and then having a chance to play Coach Johnson several times between Navy and the bowl game when he was at Tech. I always have some familiarity with the scheme, the ways we defended in our odd front, having that ability to do different things defensively with that. So there's a level of comfort for myself, but I ain't playing. No, we got to get that level of comfort in our scheme down to our players. And so that's the biggest challenge in all this. Emulating the speed, emulating the toughness they bring, emulating a quarterback that's as great as the one he has. In all my years of playing Coach Johnson, who's had some great quarterbacks, this guy's awesome. He can run it, he can throw it, he's an operator. So having familiarity with him, the system itself has helped. We got to get it to our players.
But in terms of all the tricks and the eye candy, as Coach Chizik calls it, isn't it as simple as if Shopman just does his assignment and everybody else, doesn't that really simplify it?
No. I mean, because he can do his job, but you still got to make the tackle, you still got to get off a block. So it's not like he's just an unblocked guy running to the football. There's got to be a guy to defeat a block in space and then tackle one of the fastest, most gifted quarterbacks, to me, in the country when you put him in space that I've seen. So it's a lot harder than just line up to your job. You got to make the play at the point of attack off a block and off a scheme that really you don't see until you get to game day. Because we can put guys on scout team, they ain't the guys we gonna play against. They don't come off the O-line, they ain't coming off the ball low, hard, fast, cutting you. The crack blocks aren't coming as big as the quarterback ain't being a magician with the ball on those guys and freezing them and then restarting. So there's a lot of things you can do to prepare them mentally and put them there in the right place, but they got to go finish the play.
The discipline, which begins up front, sort of trickles down to everybody else. If they handle what they're supposed to handle, it allows Shotmer and the other guys to come in and make their plays.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and again, they got to stay off the ground and not get cut. The second level's got to stay off the ground, not get cut. And then the secondary's got to understand the difference between play action pass reads and run reads, and then they got to get off a block and make a play.
How difficult is it to get kids to understand that they have to be disciplined yet aggressive and physical at the same time? Because you can play yourself out of the play against this offense.
Yeah, the thing about that part of it is that's football. Everything you do in football is discipline, and it's also physical. So that doesn't change for them. They can be undisciplined with their eyes more than anything. To me, this game is so much about eye discipline, especially in the back half. You got to see a read. You got to put your eyes on your man. Everybody just can't go see ball, hit ball, because then they hit you with a 40-yard, 50-yard touchdown for a play-action pass with a quarterback who can throw the rock. So I think the eye discipline needed is much greater than normal games probably, because we can go just press a receiver sometimes and be done with it. Here, you got to get a read. You got to get off a block, and then you got to go make a play. So it's a lot more discipline involved playing these kind of guys.
Is there any one or two things that Georgia Tech does differently with this triple option than you guys did at Air Force?
They do a lot of the same things, but there are some major differences. I think their level of skill, for one, that they've done. I remember playing him when he was at Georgia Tech and I was at Air Force in the bowl game, and they had big-time fullback, they had a big-time quarterback. There's just a different level of animal with the talent he has and the speed he has. And I just think play-wise, yeah, they're going to run triple and they're going to run crease and they're going to run zone to give. They're going to run quarterback follow. But it's just the bodies they're running with. It was a lot different than I'm used to when I was at Air Force, when he was at Navy. So, but I tell you what, he's always been a great coach. He's always had a great scheme, a great plan. And he's a guy that just does it off the cuff during the game and really gets you on your toes. And whatever you show him, he's got answers for. So we're showing him odd front all those years, and he has answers for him. We had some success, but he beat our butts sometimes too.
Thanks a lot.